Starting maybe by citizen engagement.
Yeah, so we had a roundtable with representatives of different cities involved in Smarter Together, Sofia, Munich, Vienna, and Lyon. And it was the opportunity to share differences in the context, in the approaches. For instance, Munich and Vienna undertook activities related to a very broad range of topics, whereas, for instance, Sofia focused really on the citizen engagement related to mobility issues, or Lyon more related to refurbishment issues. Some common lesson learned is some pitfalls to avoid, because it's not necessarily because you make traditional information session that you see the usual suspect that you target properly either the proper challenges, either the proper activities. So in all what we have discussed in the different cities, common advice was to combine and to connect with a broad range of network of partners that also on their side have several actions, and also not necessarily try to target directly the citizens, but sometimes target the children when we want to make something with their parents, or target other public or private company that can also improve the features of the urban project, whatever the challenge or the issue is. I think for the wrap-up, to be short.
Thank you very much. Hans Martin for monitoring.
Well, good morning. We had a short presentation of the results of the monitoring of the Smarter Together with a specific focus on the activities in Vienna, looking at the mobility solutions that were implemented and monitored, and also looking at the building solutions, building and mobility. And then after that, we discussed with colleagues from several projects on the experiences in the monitoring of smart city solutions and what we can learn from each other. I think one very important finding from all of the projects, not just here from the Smarter Together partners, was that monitoring is still something that needs a lot of pushing. Yes, the data just doesn't flow by itself, or someone needs to either push it or someone needs to pull it. Otherwise, you will not have good results in the end. And therefore, you also need to really conceptualize the process from the very beginning on, as we have done it, and start with the implementation as soon as possible. Also, this is not so easy because at the beginning, many people don't really have a clear understanding of what will come out of it, might be a bit reluctant, but I think we are really happy that we could start this early in the process. Then there were questions on the effects of COVID, which obviously has an impact on energy consumption and on behavior. I think, well, there's no clear recommendation that we can give. Our project was fortunately not affected too much by COVID. Yeah, still, especially in the behavioral aspects, there were some effects which we at the moment could just, well, notify and share. No? There's no way how to directly correct this. We also had a discussion on how to use the monitoring data after the end of the project in the best possible way. And I think one very important change in the overall system, in the overall environment is that, well, now as the new EU taxonomy is out, now as Horizon Europe is pushing for climate neutral cities, and tries to attract also private capital for these activities. It's very important to have validated data for, well, that can be used then for ensuring the bankability of projects, that can ensure that business models are validated, that can ensure that based on project results, startups can grow. I think that will also have in the future impacts on the way how we will do monitoring. We might include some KPIs that we are not using yet. We might also maybe look more, you know, adjust some of the way how we present the results. But I think it just shows how important it is to have at the end of the project really well validated and measurable impact KPIs that clearly show what all the good solutions that the project delivered. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Hans-Martin. So, and the next one is the governances. So we'll try to be short. We had 3 cities speaking on their experiences. So I think they have all the same common point, which is a mission approach with bold ambitions, pouring a lot of resources and working with an ecosystem of partner and citizen. With 2 different organizations in Munich and Vienna, it's more a city-driven approach with department services and project management on top. And in Lyon, it's more a specific vehicle in the form of an in-house company. Both are working very well. Both will certainly be replicated and roll out in the future. And I think that the main outcome is maybe not the transformation of the district, but the transformation of the mindset of the decision makers, because now what we have seen in the discussion is that it is written in the stone now, this kind of organization. It has shown its efficiency. It has shown also that some usual suspects or traditional players, such as the utility transport operators, can start to understand what is at stake and can start to replicate at a wider scale. And I think it's the most promising thing we have delivered. It's this kind of change of mindset we need to really implement and accelerate the path of implementation. Of course, nothing is perfect in what has been done. There's many things to do, to address, but I think you got very good results. And now you are also speaking about how to involve citizens in maybe a different approach, because I think it was in Munich you spoke about innovation funds and things like that. And I think it's something we have to include in our approach. So now it's time to hand over to Chiara from Venice to speak about what's next for Venice. Chiara, the floor is yours.
Hello. Now, one moment. Okay, do you see my first slide? Okay. Okay, good morning to all of you. I am happy to participate in this final meeting on air from the city of Venice. In my short speech, I will tell you about some of the actions in which the city of Venice is actually engaging in, thanks also to the innovative ideas gathered during the development of the European project Smarter Together. I'm Chiara Riccato and I work for the Infrastructure Planning and Smart City Office in the Public Works and Mobility Department of the Municipality of Venice. In the Smarter Together project, our focus has mainly been on mobility. So I start talking to you about the project for the first hydrogen station for transport that will be realized in the municipality area. The project presented by the private company ENI Refining and Marketing, owner of the filling station, which is located along the main access road between Mestre and the Venice Marco Polo Airport, was approved last year by the municipality of Venice. The hydrogen station with the 2 stalls for charging electric vehicles, a restaurant, a shop, and a car wash service will replace the current petrol station that will be completely demolished. The agreement between the Municipality of Venice, Metropolitan City of Venice, and the private companies ENI Refining and Marketing and Toyota dates back to 2019. This will be the first station with hydrogen supply for private and public transport in Italy. In June of 2020, new free-floating sharing mobility service was launched with a fleet of 800 traditional bicycles and 200 e-bikes. In order to avoid the disorderly parking of bicycles on public spaces and to favor an equitable distribution of bicycles in the municipality area, 169 stalls have been created, some of these located inside an operational area of 16 square kilometers, where it is, however, possible to leave and collect the bicycles anywhere. Other stalls instead are located in strategical points outside the operational area. Before June 2020, the municipality of Venice had a bike sharing service with only 80 bicycles and only 15 infrastructure stations in the mainland and 3 stations in the island of Lido. In just 1 year from the launch of the new service, thanks to the information campaign, the availability of bicycles, and the possibility offered by the free floating system, registered users have become over 15,000 with over 8,000 rentals per day. This is a great success for urban sustainable mobility in the Venetian mainland and in the island of Lido. In September 2020, the shared electric scooter service was also launched with positive results. In less than a year, the same values of the bike sharing service were achieved. Electric scooters mainly circulate on cycle paths that now extend for over 160 kilometers. The e-scooters are automatically limited in speed from 25 to 6 km per hour in pedestrian areas where they are allowed to move. The Italian legislation last year equated the scooter with the bicycle. That helped the use of this type of vehicle. A total of over 230,000 kilometers were covered on a scooter with a fleet of 400 vehicles. The third project I would like to talk about briefly is the development of the idea of a multimodal station currently under construction in Favaro district at the north of Mestre. In the wake of what has been learned from the cities of Munich, Vienna and Lyon, even if the hour is a small project, the multimodal station will be built collecting together the parking of private bicycles and cars, a bus stop, a cycle path, large pedestrian spaces, and the pickup for bicycles and electric scooters of the sharing public services. The future of navigation in Venice, underlined our major, will certainly be electric. The goal is to arrive at certain time and in some canals to circulate only electric motorboats. The Urban Sustainable Mobility Plan, which we are now drafting, has also this objective. For a city like Venice, mobility is also watery, so it is important to have a vision in which the canals will be cleaner thanks also to clean energy boats. Meanwhile, the first water taxi with a serious production hybrid engine was presented at the last boat show in Venice 20 days ago. It is a boat that works with 2 engine modes. The taxi will move electrically within canals and canals. When it has to travel outside Venice, it will run with on endothermic diesel, charging the batteries at the same time. The batteries have an autonomy ranging from 2 to 4 hours based on the navigation speed of the vehicle. For those of you who attended the meeting in Venice in October a couple of years ago, do you remember our bus transformed into a participation laboratory for citizenship? Soon it will return to move around the quarters of the Venetian mainland in the participatory process of the second phase of the Urban Sustainable Mobility Plan. Thanks to the lessons learned during the Smarter Together project, we will involve citizens in the construction of shared solutions to better enjoy neighborhoods and cities. In this slide, I have collected some images of another interventions that we are carrying out in the center of Mestre, smart lampposts, able to reduce consumption and report animal functions in order to facilitating maintenance. Urban furniture will not only be functional, but also be able to collect data. These data, together with those provided by the cameras in the area, flow into an intelligent control room where they are managed and processed. At this point, I proceed towards the end of my presentation, telling you in a moment about the Smart Control Room project that was built on the Tronchetto Island in Venice, just beyond the bridge that connects the historic city with the mainland. The realization of this project was supported by national and European funds for metropolitan cities called PON Metro. Inaugurated in September 2020 and winner of the Digital Agenda 2020 award, the Smart Control Room of Venice is a real-time data collection hub on all aspects of the city. The system was created by the in-house company Venice SPA, already our local partner in Smarter Together project. Today, it allows to integrate and process data relating to pedestrian traffic, parking, public and private transport, on road and water in real time. The monitoring and control equipment of the critical urban mobility and city government systems converge at the operations center, including the control centers of the multimodal network of local public transport, the images of the 400 cameras of the video surveillance systems of road traffic, the traffic light network, the cameras and sensors for monitoring water and pedestrian traffic, the video surveillance system of the Municipal Police Operations Center, and the weather forecasts. For example, the data on physical presence in the area that converge on the Smart Control Room allow to identify any gatherings and data on traffic trends, both on water and on land. In the control center, there are about 30 people qualified in the fields of mobility, tide management, local police, civil protection, IT and systems, and in multi-utility services, who supervise and monitor the various flows, each for their own skills. For the future, the goal is to achieve even greater integration and interoperability with other services and systems, and to extend the range of action over a wider slice of the Venetian territory, as well as allowing the creation of historical series and the development increasingly reliable forecasts to support the administration's work. Now I conclude with a quote from Herb Kine, just a little adapted for this meeting, to inspire positive vibes for you and the communities of a Smarter Together future. A smart city is not measured by its length and width, but by the breadth of its vision and the height of its dreams. Thank you all of you.
Thank you, Chiara. Great. Now it's time to go to Sofia. Metodi, are you ready to present what's next for Sofia?
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Just to check that connection. Thank you. So, I cannot share the screen.
One moment, please.
Okay.
It's okay, Chiara. Metodi, can you hear us?
Yes, yes. What about now? Is it visible? The shared screen?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes. So I will be quick. First, for the replication strategy, Sofia adopted the replication strategy for a Smarter Together project, and it was in accordance with the other strategic documents of Sofia municipality, which are in place. More specific, the master plan, the sustainable mobility plan, and for the air quality program. Now, actually, Sofia is developing sustainable energy and climate action plan, so taking into consideration, of course, also the replication strategy for Smarter Together in the two fields, energy efficiency and mobility. This was the main intervention points for the project, replicated from the leading city, Lyon, Munich, and Vienna. Actually, in two main fields, the energy monitoring and management system in public buildings, in kindergartens, and building an infrastructure for electric vehicles. For the building refurbishment, the design for renovation of heating installation of one kindergarten was established. Also, tender specification and design for refurbishment of heating installation in another kindergarten, and electric installation again for this public building. This was made within the scope of the project. In terms of mobility, we choose in the replication area, which is city central area of the city, two districts. We selected electric charging infrastructure for electric vehicles. The scope is 50 charging points at 25 locations, which allow simultaneously charging of 2 electric vehicles at the location. Unfortunately, we are in the, as you can see, we started in 2019, but we are still in the tender procedure. After several appeals, now we have the decision of the final possible level, and we will continue with the contract signing soon for the installation of these 50 charging points. The other mobility measure was delivery of 15 electric buses, which replaced the buses in operation at 6 lines. What was actually the innovative in this, except that they are electric, was the technology, the solution provided and chosen was that these electric buses will not have a battery, normal battery, to charge overnight in the depot, but they are having super capacitors. This new technology allows the bus to be charged at the final stop on the route, and then to execute the route with passengers. Only 10 minutes are required for charging at the final stop of any of these 6 lines routes, and there are no necessity to charge this electric bus overnight. They are in operation for 1 year and a half now, and passengers are. We have some, let's say, doubts, or we have some issues in the beginning with this 10 minutes obligatory charging at the final stops on the line. But so far, this technology shows that it is reliable. As I said, no necessity of overnight charging, and the vehicle kilometers produced by these buses are steady within the year. No replacement on this line by buses. So the technology shows that it is reliable, as I said. So we plan to extend this with more 15 electric buses to other lines, and constantly upgrade the bus fleet with electric in terms to achieve zero carbon footprint for a public transport. And the goals for sustainable urban mobility plan of Sofia, which goal is till 2035, 80% of all trips to be made by public transport and active modes of transportation, and only 20% by cars. As an additional result from the project was established this tender specification for monitoring system and digitalization of buildings documentation. This is very short. The replicated solutions, as I said, in these specific areas. In terms of overall mobility smart city solutions, I would like to mention that Sofia now is implementing a very modern smart ticketing system for the whole public transport in Sofia, which allows with video surveillance in every public transport vehicle, which allows us to have a occupancy monitoring in vehicles and to know exactly what is the occupancy rate in each vehicle per segment, per line, per specific period of time. This will be upgraded in the route planner, so we will provide an option for less crowded buses. This is important now in this pandemic times. Some people could want an opportunity to make journey with public transportation, but with less crowded buses or alternative routes which are less crowded. So based on the occupancy monitoring, which we now have in each public transport vehicle, we will have this this option for passengers. And another major function of this new ticketing system, except the ability to pay with the internet, with web portal and wireless, we have now this option to pay directly the ticket in every bus, trolleybus and tram directly on the validator by bank cards. So this is on top of the transport smart card, which is available, of course, with many other transport products, daily pass and weekly pass and monthly pass, you know, as anywhere else, public transport passes for long-term periods, for occasional travelers, and for those who want to be more flexible, they could use their bank card directly in public transport bus to pay for the trip. And so this new system is in operation for a month and a half. It's a very new and very modern. So in terms of smart city, this we consider that this is encourage people to use more public transportation. Thank you.
So so sorry, I'm not in the front of the camera. It's good?
Yeah.
Perfect. So thank you very much, Metodi. Thank you very much, Chiara. Stay online because we are going to shift now to Vienna and Stefan to explain the Smarter Together 2.0, what will happen. So Stefan, the floor is yours. Oh. There's a delay.
Yeah.
Even on the computer. No. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hello, Stefan. Shall I share the screen?
Both.
Perfect. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry, wrong page.
So, should we start from the beginning?
Yes.
Or from the back?
No, the
From the
beginning
last
makes
slide.
more sense.
Not the real beginning.
Yeah, the real beginning. Yeah, there was the Big Bang. Yeah.
After the Big Bang, if you don't mind. Something like 30 billions of years after, please.
Yeah. So then you have to jump to slide 1.
Can you see slide 1? You okay? I think I'm having trouble making it full screen. Then you cannot see the actual slide. So I will stay in this mode if that's okay.
Oh, I think
now
it's
I
nice.
understand.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello from Vienna. What we want to present you now is replication action at the biggest replication action going on in Vienna these times. We call it Wienerblast. You know, Vienna is called in German Wien, and new is neu, so it's the new Vienna Plus with an extra. This is the name of our urban renewal program, dedicated to, you can read it, making neighborhoods fit for the future. We also say climate and future proof or climate and future fit. So what is Wienerblast, this program? Maybe next slide here. We have 10 years perspective framework for this program with a lot of references to Smarter Together. So choosing a neighborhood, a district with an approach very similar to a living lab, to an urban lab, or urban smart laboratory, we say. We have chosen also a project quite similar to the size that we had worked on in Smarter Together. So in Smarter Together, we had a project in an outer district with 22,000 inhabitants. Now we have Wienerblast, district with 35,000 inhabitants, very densely populated, old building stock, newer building stock, a very heterogeneous society, also with migrant background. So a district with a lot of to-dos, of course. The focus also here for Wienerblast is to focus on, we say, innovative pilot project. You could also say smart solutions to this, or you find other words. So, but not the standard solutions yet. These are solutions when you think from a technological readiness perspective, like the European projects. They are out of the phase of prototypes. They are already proven prototypes and on the edge of market scale up, but not there yet. And we want to demonstrate a pilot project regime to bring this towards standard solutions for renewable, for partners, for the builds, the building industry, and so on and so forth. The method here, and this is the key success factor of Smarter Together, also replicated into Wienerblast, is the integrated approach. So I always say Smarter Together could have been broken down into one energy project, one mobility project, one refurbishment project, and so on and so forth. No, it was one big project combining 5 or 6 different topics like data and ICT and so on and so forth. This integrated approach we want to continue in Wienerblast because it fits very good to our strategy in Vienna. For Wienerblast, we said we have 3 big thematic pillars. It's the built environment, the public space between the buildings, and all the social and entrepreneur life in these districts. And we think at the moment, as I said to you, for a 10 years perspective and several neighborhoods, probably it will be 6 neighborhoods in these 10 years we are working very intensive on. To give you a perspective, we have a basic financing of €1 million per year, but this is not enough yet. Maybe next slide, Linda, and then I hand over to you. And what we are talking here is not just a nice idea. What we are talking in Wienerblast with the replication of Smarter Together is already happening. You see on this picture, it's a big, it's a design done by ourselves. Sorry for the very simplistic design here, but you see the buildings, the built environments, the public space in between, very important, and the people. Our main 3 pillars, and you see here all projects, solutions already going on in Wienerblast. Every word standing here is when you think a project done by a partner or by ourselves. So I give you 3 examples. What we're thinking of is bringing geothermal energy to a complete new level. Of course, it's the district heating, the densification of district heating, but we think about geothermal drillings and geothermal energy sources everywhere, in public space, in parks, on pedestrian area, on streets. Every location you can find of, we want to have a geothermal drilling to really decarbonize this whole district in future. There's a project going on now estimating if we can make with hundreds of geothermal drillings and district heating and other renewable sources, make this climate neutral or even a plus energy district. And another example is the mobility solutions and the public space with the superblock idea. Maybe you heard of superblock in Barcelona. So next year there will be 8 streets in these districts, a block with the size of 500 to 500 meters. So many different blocks will be a new public space, a car-free new public space. It's a huge transformation for a certain area of this district with a super block with new public and green space environment. It's a completely game changer in public space. And the third example is our participatory budget. We have a budget, a funding, supporting actions and ideas raised up by citizens and also companies. So we have a participatory budget. Yesterday there was a big workshop and first ideas could be handed over to us after the summer, and hopefully there will be a funding and there will be a jury, a decision board consisting also of citizens who are deciding upon the participatory budget we are providing for this district. Yes, and an own funding regime we have also for the built environment for buildings. It's here written in blue. So maybe Linda, you want to hand over here?
Yes, thank you very much, Stefan. I'm looking at the time, so I will make it rather short and just give you an overview over the area that we are looking at, because it's very interesting, as it is right behind the main central station of Vienna. The main station was built around 15 years ago, and with that development, this whole area is now in a very different situation. So gentrification could become and probably will become a big issue in the next years, and already has. It is an area with these very typical Gründerzeit buildings, these typical for Vienna typical buildings like these ones, but a lot of area are missing a good quality. So they are very different categories, and they are in this rather low category. So there is a lot of improvement and also a lot of development possible, because they can build those buildings higher, top them up with additional flats and so on. You see here a huge public space, a very very well-known traffic spot, which will be redesigned in the coming years, and we with Wienerblast are trying to set innovative aspects in the redesigning of this space, for example, including aspects of a sponge city and having a simulation of the microclimate and having a simulation of different greening options before we actually rebuild the square. Stefan already mentioned that it is very densely populated and is lacking a lot of green space. Of course, heat is a huge issue in this area with these very dense Gründerzeit buildings, and it has a lot of migrant population. So we have a lot to do, but we're very excited for this upcoming task. And of course, we already learned a lot in Smarter Together in Simmering, and a lot of these experiences and learnings we can take with us in this new area and also in the following areas in the next years. So that's from our side. Thank you very much.
Stefan, yes, we can maybe. That's okay. And now we are going to hand over to Lyon or Marcus?
Marcus.
Marcus first. Marcus for Munich. Digital twins.
Digital twins, yes.
Great.
So my slides should be visible for you now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that's technical check first. So yeah. So thanks very much for the opportunity to present what's next in Munich. I will give you the next 15 minutes an overview, and there are several projects running that have been started especially because of Smarter Together. The major project I want to present is the digital twin Munich. So, of course, I only can give you an overview in the next couple of minutes. For detailed information, you can visit our website. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's only in German, and an English version is in the pipeline, but not available until now. So first of all, I want to begin with our vision of the digital twin. So for us, the digital twin of Munich is the digital heart of tomorrow's Munich. It facilitates innovative solutions to help Munich meet the challenges of being a smart city And the open data platform within the digital twin is its central data hub, linking previously isolated solutions in a shared ecosystem. In this way, the city government can digitalize processes and gain scope for innovation. Changes are visualized in advance and citizens are more involved in decisions. For us, the digital twin puts the city and its organization in the best possible position to address key issues of the future, such as climate protection, new forms of mobility, and integrated urban development. So that's the digital twin of Munich. Away from the vision, I want to show you how we understand the digital twin. First of all, the digital twin is a digital representation of the reality. Digital representation of reality, but it's not just a 3D model of the city. Of course, you have to build up a very detailed 3D model of Munich, and that is exactly what we are doing. Our 3D model contains buildings, the vegetation in the city, and a very detailed representation of the street space. But additionally, we are adding further informations to our digital twin. We are connecting the digital representation to the Internet of Things. For example, we use real-time data or sensor data, and we deposit the currently valid traffic rules in the road space. So it's not just a representation of the road space, it also includes the traffic rules. Though this is the basis for computing models and simulations, and we are speaking of what-if scenarios. In the case that the results of these scenarios are positive for the further development of the city, it can lead us to changes or implementation in reality. And this is the major target. For us, it's the major target to close the circulation in advantage of the city of Munich. Until almost the end of last year, I always told in my presentations that we are just in the state of building up the digital representation. But with the beginning of 2021, we started to close the circulation by beginning to compute the first models and simulations. So what are we doing to build up the databases? First of all, we have a semantic 3D model. You can find this in almost every city in the world and almost every bigger city. The semantic 3D model contains very detailed information about the buildings, but does not contain any information about the street space. Therefore, we are combining this data set with 3D information that we are gaining of our Street View campaign. Some special spots are further detailed by drone-based captures in 3D. And of course, we do have a photorealistic 3D model, a 3D mesh, as you know it from Google Maps or Apple Maps, if you tilt the aerial images. But this photorealistic 3D model is just like a picture. So we are cutting all the parts in order to add the same information as we have them in the semantic 3D model. So, of course, we have several opportunities to visualize our 3D model, our 3D databases. And this is just one mode. As you can see here, this shows all the information we have in the street space and the semantic model of the buildings. And as I mentioned, we have the logical information in the street space. So, for example, we can access information about bike paths and add other information such as sensor data. And of course, this works very fine with other kinds, of objects in the 3D model, for example, the buildings. So we also can access information of the building and add, for example, data of energy consumption or anything else. So this works very fine with other kinds of visualization, as I told you already before. The same in this version of visualization. So this is part of Munich, and you can see a lot of detailed objects in the street space, not only the trees. So what are we doing is building up a 3D city model based on detailed geo-information. Mobile mapping is playing for us an important role. And of course, the connection to the Internet of Things. To be able to use all this data, we rely on standards and open source and on self-determined data governance. So, on this basis, we are able to compute simulations and models, and we also can visualize the digital twin by using virtual or augmented reality. It is possible to involve the citizens of Munich in a very innovative way and with a central claim of climate protection and enable new forms of mobility. So here you can see some examples. What are we already doing until today? We already used augmented reality and also built up a commuter animation to learn where the working population is coming from. Currently, we are modeling air pollution for a certain area, of the city of Munich, just with the goal to compute this in the next step for the whole city of Munich. And also, as I told before, we are building up a lane model, including the traffic rules. So we can compute better simulations, better models based on this lane model, based on this new kind of street space we have. So as I started, Smarter Together played a very important role for us to start with the digital twin of Munich. But there are also some more important projects in Munich that have been started this year. Based on the digital twin, I have to mention the project Connected Urban Twins and the project Tempus. So what are the major goals of this project? First of all, at the beginning of this year, we started with the project Connected Urban Twins with the cities of Hamburg and Leipzig. The aim was here to use digital twins and urban data platforms for innovative approaches to urban development. In our partnership with the two cities, we are focusing on standards and open source. And we also want to participate and to, we want a high level of exchange and replication with other cities. So that's plays an important role for this project. And innovative solutions for integrated urban development and new forms of citizen participations are central goals. And we are supported by several various research institutes in Germany, for example, the Technical University of Munich. Finally, another project which have been started at the beginning of this year is Tempus. It is based on the digital twin. Here, the largest test field for connected and automated driving in Germany is being built. And it's not just in a laboratory environment, but in real traffic. The project will run for about 2.5 years. And with the digital twin providing the detailed databases and connecting the relevant real-time data with the vehicles and the infrastructure out in the real traffic area. So this was my short overview about the digital twin of Munich and the upcoming and running projects Connected Urban Twins and Tempus. And I hope that I could give you an overview about what's next in Munich. And I thank you very much, and I wish you a further excellent event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marcus. So we have the digital side with Munich and the physical side with Vienna. Now we have the Lyon replication team with 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Philippe. 5 minutes to explain what we are going to replicate in the coming years, the coming months, with Smarter Together, the follow-up of Smarter Together. Maybe the first thing to know is that at the end of the project, we need to take the lesson learned of this project, maybe to replicate what we achieved, what was good, and probably to correct what went wrong. So we will quickly go on 4 topics. The first one, the energy retrofitting with Etienne, data management with Baptiste, last mile logistic with Liz, and I will finish with energy communities. Etienne, the floor is yours.
So in our territory, half of the territory is the existing neighborhood. We have worked a lot since 10 years to try to trigger building energy retrofit, but that's really thanks to Smarter Together that we significantly accelerated 50,000 square meters done in the last year. It's 4/4 of what has been done in refurbishment in neighborhood since 10 years. So for us, it's important because it gives us more legitimacy to talk about or to work on this topic. And also thanks to Smarter Together and thanks to the lesson learned we shared, we see that more and more we are consulted by external stakeholders, city municipalities, elected representatives, or other private stakeholders in order to work with us or to expand or accelerate retrofitting elsewhere. And currently we are, for instance, working on new business models in order to help or support the city strategy on energy retrofitting.
Thank you, Etienne.
Okay, hello everyone. Regarding smart data, so one of the main achievements within Smart Together has been the development of a monitoring tool with Greater Lyon. So the first step has been to use the urban data platform of Greater Lyon to collect data from our building here in Confluence. And after collecting the data, the objective was to make something with them, of course. And so that's why Greater Lyon has developed a monitoring tool that enables us to have access to this data, to have access to graphics, mainly energy data, so meaning including heating consumption from our buildings, electricity consumption, but also, as we have here in Confluence, photovoltaic systems. We have access, thanks to this tool, to the production of these photovoltaic systems. So from this tool, 2 directions are going to be taken, one by Lyon and one by SPL. Lyon is going to use this tool and scale it up to the metropolis scale. So the objective for them is to monitor the consumption of the buildings they own, such as the class historical buildings. From our side as urban developer, of course, we want to stay at a district level. However, we want to be able to integrate more data. So that's why we are actually developing a digital twin of the district, the whole district. And so that this digital twin will be able also to integrate not energy data, but also mobility data or comfort data, air quality data. And so that's the first step. And the next step is to, thanks to the digital twin, offer services to the citizens, the inhabitants, and also to create energy communities that Maxime will present. And so that's the next step. And the objective is to to become a smart district. And so to become a smart district, we need to have smart inhabitants and smart citizens.
Thank you, Baptiste. Liz?
Hello, everyone. So regarding the mobility topic, within Smarter Together, we were more focused on electrical mobility, such as shared electric vehicles and charging station, and we also experimented an autonomous shuttle. But for the what's next in the replication phase, we will be focusing on urban logistics and last mile logistics, as it is a more and more crucial topic linked to the objective of pedestrianized and to avoid congestion and air pollution in the city centers. To that end, the SPL is taking part in a new European project launched in 2020 called LEAD, which means Low Emission Adaptive Last Mile Delivery Solutions, and which aims at implementing a last mile delivery solution in European cities. In Lyon Confluence, we will implement a logistics center in an existing car park, an underground car park. First, to try to diversify the use of this kind of underground car park located in the city centers or close to the city centers, and furthermore to allow logistic operators to try and test innovative delivery practices. We are involved in this project with LPA, public company, which is the manager of the car park. The SPL is the owner of the car park, and we are also working with research institute called IRT Systemics, which will help us to in parallel of this concrete pilot in the car park to build a digital twin of the district to be able to analyze, for instance, the delivery flows in the district, and then to adapt our future solutions in consequence. Besides, and always with the objective of sharing and learn from each other, we are involved in the writing of a scientific paper which aims at comparing last mile urban logistics solution in 3 smart cities: Munich, Vienna, and Lyon.
Thank you, Liz. Let's talk about energy production. You've seen that during Smarter Together, we try to reduce the energy consumption through retrofitting, through new use of mobility, through data assets, to monitoring. And we also need to produce energy. But what we have learned is that, that in Lyon Confluence, we push developers to put a lot of PV panels, a lot of energy production on their rooftop, and there is a limit to this solution. So we cannot, in the area, produce more energy now. So the question is how to use energy, and our purpose is to engage citizens as an energy consumer to act regarding their energy consumption. We managed during the Smarter Together project to move a little bit the French regulation regarding the self-consumption. And so now we are able to create a community energy at the level of the area of Lyon Confluence, and that's what we are aiming to do. And I invite you to follow the tomorrow morning session on energy communities that will take place, yes, at the end of the morning. And as a conclusion, last but not least, the most important lesson learned from Smarter Together, for sure, was the collaboration between cities. between Lyon, Munich, Vienna, Venice, Santiago, and Sofia. We said that a lot this morning, but it was very important. And we are very proud to be part of a new team now. Look at Energy Cities, IIT, Chiviesco, 20 Communication, Algoe, and for sure Blue Site, because now through scale we support Lighthouse cities in order to meet this challenge regarding neutral cities, carbon cities. Thank you very much. And this afternoon you will learn more about scale, because we have a dedicated session started at 1.
Yes, half past one. We are going to start again with the scale activities, but maybe as a yes.
Commission.
With the
Yes.
European Commission, of
Absolutely,
course.
but about scale.
And the other SCC Lighthouse projects, some of them are already in the session right now. And maybe just to conclude, I would like to thank every partners, because they did an amazing job with very good spirits. All the work package leaders, because it was difficult to work with the management team inspired by David Bowie. Quite complicated, of course. I would like to make a special tribute to two people. One of them is Thomas, because he did all the exciting job. And so on. So thank you very much, Thomas. And you have to be very nice with this guy, because if you want to be paid, you have to be very nice. So that's quite essential. And the last one is from Vienna, because he always reminds to us the real purpose of Smarter Together, which is love. Thank you very much, Brian, for keeping this purpose live. And maybe we have the music, but you know that we started by jumping together
5 years ago.
5 years ago. We were young and full of energy. So now we are sitting on our chair. So I will advise you to jump on your chair, saying who is not jumping is not smarter.